The Western world is in ruin and ready to collapse. The so-called resistance leaders, they rage bait the slaves, pushing their own demise. Stay angry indeed. Black pills of despair rain from the sky. No one can stop the fall. No one can stop Black Chad, demon of despair.
No, stop putting your emotion into it.
Wait,
we need to look for alternatives.
what's this?
Look for solutions. We can't just, give in to despair and this programmed demoralization of the West. Come on, guys.
What? You're not full of rage or despair? Fine. I will imprison you in an astral dungeon and keep you away from the others. No one will hear about your alternatives or your solutions or your silly indie brands. No one cares. The despair programming must continue.
What?
Welcome to Forever, nerd.
You haven't won, Black Chad.
Oh, yeah?
I'll talk to and review every indie creator I can, and we'll fight against your despair.
Even the bad ones?
Yes, even the bad ones.
Oh.
You don't get it. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me!
Oh.
Now on with the show.
I'm pumped.
Man, that song made me want to clear back to the 80s with my mullet.
Yeah.
It does.
Regrow
It gets
your hair.
pumped up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Well, it's official. I'm gonna have to come up with like a musical intro, don't I?
Yeah. An anthem.
I like it a lot. So yes, that's right, people. We are being taken over, invaded by the Dumbsday Commando himself, Patrick Quinlan. Yes.
Hello, hello.
First time Patrick's been on the show,
welcome.
although he's had me on Dumbsday Commandos a few times now. So, yes, it's good to have you here, General.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Hell yeah.
So today, before we get too far into it, I just want to go over topics. It's going to be Avengers Dumbsday. Of course, it's Doomsday, but I don't know. I don't know how excited I am about this yet, and I guess we'll have some time to go over that. But and then also we're talking about networking. I'm asked on Twitter. I was like, about cults. I was like, are you in a cult? Is our fandoms that you don't like, are they all cults? So because everybody's throwing, you're in a cult. It's a cult. This is a cult. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too, and the beginner tips to networking. Anybody? I've been at this a few years, I guess, and I guess it's been a few years now, and I have a few ideas on what to do, and maybe a few things of what not to do, which is just as important as what to do. So we've all had our different experiences out here in the indie comic book scene. It's not an easy scene to be in for some of us, and so we've got a lot of different angles on this subject. So I'm looking forward to cracking that one. But first, let's go around. We got Mr. Dukester himself, Derek Clay. Welcome back, sir.
Howdy. Thank you.
And of course, the ever faithful Mr. Chris Fisk, Infinitale Chronicles.
Yeah.
Out doing the grind. You have your pre-sign up still up, or when do you launch?
Do. I launch when my colorist gets me the final 9 pages, and I'm able to get lettering on it. And I hope that's very soon, because my deadline was in February.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeesh. I think we've gone over this. The like artists have a different timeline. They have a different time frame that they work with. So you said February, but you didn't say what year. So.
Oh yeah, there we go.
That's right.
I'm like the Y2K bug.
Yeah. So and then
You meant this February. Oh,
oh shit. And then of course Patrick has what's it? Phenomenon number 2. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Phenomenon number 2.
I want to show. I got mine in. I got Phenomenon was at 1, and then Phenomenal Tales. Yeah. So I went for this one, the Minotaur one. Yeah. And then I saw that. I was like, well, shit. I was get them both. So and they were affordable. So I went and I grabbed those, and it also came with this. So which is cool. I have not read them yet. I just got them like maybe a week or 2 ago. So I need to set aside. You know how it is. Yeah. You got a pile to read. Which actually, I'm thinking of doing that on this channel. Is just sitting here, and I got another camera over here, so maybe just sit and read them with the
camera.
Whoever wants to hang
on
out.
You, and it's just quiet.
It's just me, like smoking a cigarette.
Right. Like, Mr. Rogers music. Like,
what the fuck is this? Like, he's not even reading out loud.
Oh, you're here.
Oh, there's
you've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got somebody in the chat. Here we go. What's up, Alex? I tried to join a cult, but when they asked how I felt about Kool-Aid, I made a face and they said they'd call me. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was like,
nice.
That purple drank.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I guess you guys ready to get into this? Let's get into this.
Let's go.
All right. Let me see if I can figure out these. So if the faithful over there, you can see in the corner now says StreamYard instead of my own logo. And that's because StreamYard decided to fleece me. I bought a full year contract. It was now that price is doubled. And then when I went to get out of it at the end of my contract, like last week or whatever it was, they're like, oh, but why are you leaving? I was like, too expensive. And then they're like, well, but wait, we'll give you 40% off. Like, wait a minute, you're trying to bribe me with or whatever it was. And I was like, no, it's too expensive. It was expensive to begin with, especially because I don't make any money at this, just being here.
Need some ROI.
Yeah, seriously. All right, let's take a look at. I wanted to. We'll start with this Doomsday stuff. This Dumbsday stuff. I've got. I've got this over here. Man, see if I get that any bigger.
Yeah, all the characters
So
you
this-
don't give a shit about.
Yeah, right. So we'll go through. We'll just kind of look at this, and it has this list because they don't have a lot out about it, right? It's just teaser shit. I know we saw who was it? Robert Downey Jr. He
Oh,
comes
boy.
out and he's got the mask on and all that stuff, and they're like, "Oh, it's Robert Downey Jr." And everybody was happy. I don't know if I'm happy about it. So
I'm very.
I don't know Vanessa Kirby, who's Anthony Mackie sucks.
Yeah, you need to do better.
You know, Sebastian Stan's cool. I like him.
I like him.
He should play the rebooted Luke, in my opinion. But
Oh.
Letitia Wright, who is that? Do you guys know
Black
who
Panther,
that
the
is?
new Black Panther.
Oh, don't scare me like that, colonizer.
I think that's.
Well,
who
that
that
is that skinny bitch from
His sister.
Wakanda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shuri.
Skinny bitch. That's how she's in my file folder as skinny bitch from Wakanda. So, all right. Paul
Yeah, I
Rudd,
think so.
one of our favorite Jews.
The guy that never ages.
Yeah, immortal Paul
Yeah.
Rudd. Wyatt Russell, he's cool.
He's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I
He
want to
comes
see more of
from
this
royalty, in my opinion.
guy.
What's that?
Dude, I want to see him reprise his dad's role in sequels, like another, like Big Trouble in Little China, or like
Yes.
some other thing.
That would be
This guy's awesome.
Were we talking about that on this channel? I was talking about that recently on a stream somewhere, and yeah, Wyatt Russell's great. I would love to see him do, Big Trouble in Little China, either a reboot or a part 2. I think that would be awesome.
Or like a different, like instead of like Little China, like it's some other like little ethnic, Big Trouble in like Little Italy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like some other.
Big
like
Trouble
a
in Little Ireland.
Escape from Chicago. That would be cool.
Yeah, Big Trouble. Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. Escape from Chicago. Oh, yeah, I heard that's real dangerous.
Yeah.
This is MAGA country. Tanakh, I can't even say that. What is that? Who is that?
Whoa.
I think that's Namor.
That's Namor.
Not
yeah.
more.
Namor. You know, I never saw that. That's the Wakanda
Uh-huh.
Forever.
Yeah, that ain't. Yeah,
Did
let's
not-
just say I didn't miss that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like. Since I've read comic books, I've always hated Namor. I've always thought of him as a villain because I first saw him in Fantastic Four, where he was kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
So I've always thought he was just a douchebag, and I hated the character. And then, I still had this visceral reaction though to that casting and the way he looked. I was like, "Oh no! How could you make Namor even worse?"
Yeah, because the Aztecs or the Mesoamericans were
Uh-huh.
noted for their sea travel.
Right?
Yeah, good point. Well, in the comics, he's like Scottish, isn't he?
I thought he was Asian, dude. I thought
He's-
I'm like, can't Daniel Day Kim play him?
I never thought of him as Asian. I just thought he was just like a different. He comes from under the sea. So
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
like
that's
Atlantean or some
Anything.
shit.
He's got like a 5 head.
Yeah.
His dad though is like of northern descent. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
His
Yeah,
mom
that's
is
what I
his
thought.
mom
He
is an
was-
Atlantean.
I thought he was Scottish or something, but anyways, moving on.
Get
I don't
out
know.
of my water!
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Scott supremacists, I see. Who's this Eben Moss
That's
Bacharach
Ben
or whatever?
Grimm.
Who's that?
Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That could be cool.
I like him actually.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh,
rounded nose on that
as,
one.
As the resident Asian of the group, yeah. He ugly. Why you put ugly Chinese guy?
Half Asian. Okay, you can't slip into what kind of ethnicity you want when
Yes,
it's
I can,
available.
because I'm a crypto. Oh no! Wait.
Is that your Jewish side? You can just
Yep.
claim what you want. I got it. It's like it's not Goldberg anymore. All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
Simu Louis or whatever his name, Liu.
Simu
I
Liu.
don't know. I tried. So I watched the his movie in the theater, and I was
Oh.
bored by it.
Yeah,
They
I
had the
couldn't get
one
through
fight
it.
scene on the bus that was phenomenal, but the rest of it was real. It was a real snooze fest. So
Yeah,
I thought it was okay.
Well, that movie should have been right up my alley. Like that, I felt like that
Yeah.
should have been like I'm in the demographic that should be for me. And
Yeah.
dude, between that and what's her face there, DeSanti. No, what the hell's her? Aquafina or whatever. like-
Aquafina.
DeSanti.
Oh yeah, they named me after bottled water.
Damn millennials.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I think she's funny as hell. But I had just seen her in another dragon movie. It was a cartoon it was good. And I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the whole family liked the movie. And then right after that, I saw this, and some of the plot and a little bit of the story was kind of similar in some ways. You know, you got the dragons, a big dragon, you know, third act dragon fight, and all this other stuff. It was just like I just saw some of this stuff, you know, in the cartoon. So maybe that informed my my feeling on it too. So maybe I had gas that day. I don't know.
I don't know. Just Shang-Chi, just like it didn't resonate. You know. Yeah, I don't know. I love Wuxia.
Just okay.
All right, Florence Pugh. Pugh.
We're like
She's
Florence P.U.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ugh.
Could have done a lot better. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny because like I don't like her in the Marvel movies. Like she's like the Temu version of Black Widow.
Yeah.
But like you know, like she's been great in other things, and honestly, I think she's better when she's using her normal like British voice instead of like the American one or the whatever the Russian one. She sounds very strange. It's Russian, you know.
Yeah.
If her character wasn't so like unnecessarily sassy.
Yeah,
she's supposed to be an assassin. Like assassins don't go around being sassy generally.
Yeah.
Let's throw
What's
some
the
quick...
sassy and assassin?
Yeah.
Sassy assassin. That's a good comic name. Sassy assassin.
Oh no, you didn't. You just see the sniper.
Yeah,
right. Oh hell no! Don't go in that room, girl.
That's a manga waiting to happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And Kelsey Grammer, who I didn't know was still alive. So that's kind of cool.
In the Marvels, he did the new Beast, and so he still voiced the Beast in this like universe. And you know, he was the Beast in the other X-Men film as well.
Yep.
So, in fact, I think
the guy
is awesome as the Beast.
Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah. He fits it. He has that erudite, you know, kind of aura about him, which is very Beast.
Yes.
Although I did like when they had Young Beast, the guy that plays Lex Luthor in the upcoming Superman.
Nicholas
I think
Hoult.
He was Beast.
Yeah.
And I liked his, you know, his portrayal.
I didn't
really
like
good.
his Beast at all. I hated the way he looked. First off,
Well,
I mean, it just didn't.
Well,
look
I guess
like...
we're gonna fight about it, huh? No.
I mean, but he did the look. It was too cat-like, and I hate the cat-like version of the Beast.
Oh,
me too.
I want the blue Beast from the '80s, man. I don't want
that's fair. No.
With the hair that
the Wolverine hair on the gorilla.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it was the '90s Beast. That's when I got into X-Men.
Oh,
Was,
okay.
you know, the
They
Jim
started
Lee.
going cat-like then.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's good to see Kelsey, I suppose. And then Lewis Pullman. Who was that?
Like
nobody know?
Kid or something? I have no idea.
No nepotism there.
Yeah. Oh, Hollywood is one giant nepotism. Like.
Yeah. Danny Ramirez.
Oh, he's the Sentry, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes, you're right.
That's probably one of the bad guys in this. I don't know.
Maybe.
No, I think by the time the Sentry gets here, he'll probably be a good guy.
Okay.
Which is kind of a spoiler then for Thunderbolts, isn't it? They kind of just totally ruined their whole thing.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be the bad guy in that, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh man. Way to go, Marvel.
You dummies.
It's okay because I'm most likely not going to watch the Thunderbolts anyways, so I won't see him.
Nobody else will either. No worries.
I will. I'm going to watch that because I'm just there for Wyatt Russell. Honestly, I'm stoked to see U.S. Agent again. He's one of my favorite of the shit show that was the past 4 years of Marvel. He was like the standout, other than Deadpool. He was the standout. Like, I actually like this guy.
I hope they don't try to turn it into like a humiliation ritual for U.S. Agent because.
Again,
because they're like, you should hate what he did and everything. I'm like, dude, he did the right thing.
Right.
That was a terrorist. Freckle Jesus was a monster.
Right.
He stopped, and they're like, oh, well, that was evil. And they're all lecturing him and shit. And I'm like, you guys got your messages screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very much so.
I agree. Yeah, well, because they're trying to, push their Marxist agenda, So what are you going to do? Fucking artists. No. Just kidding. All right. Then we got Joseph Quinn. I'm not familiar with that one either. Am I just out of it? Have I gotten to the age where I don't know what's going on?
Yeah. Who are these kids?
Culture? Yeah. Who are these kids on my lawn? Get out of here.
Joseph Quinn. Oh, okay.
The Human Torch.
Yeah.
Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Stranger Things. He's the cop. He played Hellboy.
Well, he's the Russian.
Yeah,
The Russian
I am
Russian
the
version.
fat lummox. I am the straight white guy that everybody can say is fat and stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was there just to receive the barbs from Florence Pugh.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Good for him. He's like, and I love every minute of it. White man stuff. Damn it, David. Let's see. Winston Duke. I don't know that one either.
He sounds like a boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he sounds like a superhero name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Winston Duke.
Oh,
Come get some.
he's from Wakanda.
Oh.
The ape dude, a big ape guy.
Was he the one that was like barking at Bill?
Yeah.
First of all,
Baggins
that's
to
racist.
Intimidate him. He's like, oh. I'm like, way to stereotype it, buddy. Use your words. You know,
Yes.
like.
You serious?
But I liked
All
him.
my friends
I liked him
racist.
in that movie, man. I liked him.
Yeah, he's great. It'll be
He
great
was
to see
pretty
him
cool.
back, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we got Hannah John Kamen. Don't know that one.
Which, that's like, I'm like, which name? Like, is it
Yeah.
a woman or a man? Like, I'm kind of.
Yeah. Joke's on you. It's both.
Oh.
It's
Oh no, it's non-binary.
they.
No, she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the villain.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
What's the one
From the
you know
second
what I mean?
movie, she was Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost.
Oh, that was so
Oh.
terrible. The reason I didn't see the third Ant-Man was because of the second one. You know,
Yeah.
like that was so boring and dumb. Like,
Oh.
be sympathetic for her. She's just being a bad person because it's like I don't care.
that's demoralizing
All bad guys
propaganda.
think that they're good guys. This whole thing of like, you got to be sympathetic towards the bad guy. It's like, well, they all think that they're the good guys.
Yeah.
Every bad guy ever.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Doom thinks he's the good guy.
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
Yeah,
he
I
might
walked
be the
in-
good guy. I'll be honest.
I walked into a Borders yesterday.
I'm sorry.
A bookstore. Yeah, I know it was really stupid, but we were wasting time. I had to waste time, so I was like, "Well, let's go read some books or something."
Yeah.
Well, when I walked in, they had, of course, the Wicked setup. Because
Oh.
everybody's still about that, and they're like, even a villain can be a hero.
Yeah.
That was
this
the
is
sign they put
demoralization.
up. And
course.
they put this sign on the table. Even a villain can be a hero. I was like, what
No, they
kind
can't.
of fucked up messages are we sending to everybody?
Dude, this is intentional. This is Weimar Republic demoralization propaganda. Do you remember when they literally had a movie with Angelina Jolie called Maleficent that was about the Disney villain? Maleficent
Yeah.
is Latin and literally means the evil one. Okay.
Yes.
And they turned it into some grape allegory where like she was wronged by evil, greedy, cowardly white men, and she had, big
Right.
feminist. And I'm like,
Of course.
Those
yeah,
bastards.
so all the villains are sympathetic and all the heroes are like deconstructed
Yes,
and
it's
the
terrible.
bad guys.
Fucking white guys, am I
Absolutely
right?
terrible.
Yeah, we were warned
Yeah.
of this shit. Remember when that KGB guy is like, everything you'll know that you have been taught is good is now bad, and he's like, they are pushing this crap to demoralize you,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
like, that was back in the '80s. That dude was saying that, and it's like, hello, like, he
Yeah,
was
one of the
proven
major
right.
things that these I guess these writers are missing about writing evil is that evil. One of the things that makes them evil is like you can do something evil, and then like maybe you don't understand that it's evil, or maybe you make a mistake or something. But an evil person, they enjoy doing it, right? They enjoy the part that is evil. They don't care. Right, like, oh, I enjoy being sadistic to this person because it's evil, like maybe they don't think of it that way, but they enjoy the process of being sadistic. They enjoy it all. Whereas, like, oh, that was really sadistic. What did I do? I fucked it all up. No. These people enjoy it. Like psychopaths exist, and not all of them are nice doctors. Some of them are real fucking evil.
Yeah.
Anyways, so. See, we got Tom Hiddleston. It's good to see Tom again, who is aging out. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah.
All these people are aging out. A lot of them. Patrick Stewart, speaking of aging out.
Oh,
they're
God.
They're kicking his old dusty bones. Come on
I
out
believe
there,
they're going back
Patrick.
with him again.
Yeah, he's at that point now where it's like that exorcism scene in Beetlejuice. He goes to talk and his mouth just falls off. Oh.
Pretty soon he's really going to be in a wheelchair. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, this isn't a prop. This is a legit. I brought this from home.
It's method acting.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not
another
acting.
one.
Ugh, another
They
one.
play the
Jeez.
X-Men song
Gandalf.
now. Did you hear it?
What's up?
They played the
The
X-Men
X-Men theme.
whenever the
Oh.
Ian
For a
McKellen came
second.
up.
right?
No more Fassbender.
So yeah,
Isn't that
I mean,
sad?
come on,
Michael
dude.
Fassbender was so good as
Yes, he
Magneto.
was.
He was good.
Why would you
I
not
love
use
this.
him?
Yeah.
You know,
He was good.
He was so good.
Maybe
It was
they'll
like,
get,
how can you get better than Ian McKellen? You know, Ian McKellen's amazing. How can you get better than him?
Right.
Michael
right.
Fassbender. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly
That's
right.
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Alan Cumming.
Yeah, he played a good Nightcrawler back in the
He
day.
did play a good Nightcrawler. I loved it.
Yeah, when he was in his like 30s, and now he's
Yeah.
like 60.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, why are they rolling out the retirement home? Like, we used to be X-Men.
Right.
I mean, what are you all doing here? Oh
So-
shit,
oh.
Rebecca Romaine.
There's
So,
no more
Sag-
Stamos.
Yeah.
I gotta worry about this a little bit because I felt like that was what was wrong with all the X-Men films back then was they gave her too much time, and she's beautiful and I think she was great as Mystique, but holy hell, man, she was not the main villain. God dang, like they just had
Yeah.
to focus completely on her all the time.
Oh,
hot
but don't
naked
you know she's really nude and she's on screen? Ooh,
Yeah,
it's
well,
so-
they
Well-
overpowered her too, and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit, man.
Well, look what they
Yeah.
did when they added Jennifer Lawrence to the thing. And she's like, well, Jennifer Lawrence doesn't like the makeup. So at least Rebecca Romaine was like a good sport about it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
when
yeah,
Jennifer Lawrence came on, they're like, no, she doesn't want her makeup. She wants to be fully clothed, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so, and then they made her a good guy. Like,
It shows
Yeah,
you too that she's not a good actress, because a good actress would take the role and like play exactly what. So
Yep.
Mystique doesn't like to be. She likes to look like herself. She doesn't like
Yeah.
to look like a regular
Right.
human. So it's like you're just a bad actress. You just don't know the character.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's just a bad actress. Yeah, and I guess in this one we're gonna get saggy Mystique. So that'll be
yeah,
nice.
the wall, post wall. Like,
I don't know. She still looks pretty good for her age, man.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The old
These
girl
all
held
just
up.
jokes, just for the jokes. And of course, James Marsden, in my opinion, can do no wrong. I love
Yeah.
seeing. He's a great Cyclops. Probably, you know, I don't know who they're going to be able to get to replace him because he, in my opinion, as being a fan of Cyclops, it's always great to see James. So
Yeah.
it'll be good to see him back. Which, of course, they'll probably cuck him. He'll be in the corner, you know, while everybody else is doing something.
And I hope he gets to shine, man, because he never got to shine, you know?
Yeah, they killed him
didn't.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always. Oh,
Off
he's
screen.
it's the same thing. It's the same problem they have with like Superman. Is like, oh well, he's a Boy Scout, so
Yeah.
he has nothing interesting about him. It's
Yeah.
like,
We're
You're-
trying to demoralize people, not inspire them.
yeah, good point. Yeah, we don't need good leadership. No. And then Channing Tatum,
Oh,
that's cool. I'm down. Seeing him
Yeah.
in the Deadpool Wolverine
that's what
was
it was.
awesome.
that's the only reason why he's here is because
Yep.
he tested well with the the millennials in
Tested
the
phenomenally.
Deadpool movie. Yeah.
I mean,
his
was cool,
costume,
man.
you know, was a little
Hokey.
I don't know. It was yeah, it was a little
Accurate.
bulky. Yeah, it kind of was cosplay-y, but I liked
Yeah.
it overall. And then
You know,
his accent was perfect because it was hard to understand him. You know, it was hilarious.
what sucks is this is like I hate to say it, but this is like kind of a disservice to Channing. Like this should have come out like we should have had him in the X-Men or Gambit or whatever
Yeah.
over a decade ago.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, like 15. Yeah,
yeah.
it's true. It's all right. They're finally they're listening to a fan, maybe. Oh.
He's in everything. This isn't a surprise. I was waiting
Yeah.
for this.
Well, he's Reed Richards, so
Yeah.
this is why.
yeah.
Ugh.
There's the turd in the bowl. So
Richard sounds like a very Latino name, by the way.
Yes, it does.
Very
Yeah.
Latino surge name, Ricardo.
Oh, and then of course the one that they shoveled money at, Mr. Robert Downey
Yep.
Jr., which
He made it work the
don't
first time.
understand. Like, I mean, are people really that amped just to see Robert Downey Jr.? He's
No.
not even coming back as Iron Man. So
Mhm.
is it
No,
is
but
it really
that's-
just the appeal
it's-
for the face?
Do you want me to tell you what it sounded like in the boardroom when they're like, let's get Robert Downey Jr. He's the one that got the MCU off the ground, and we're failing big. The kids really love Robert Downey Jr. Let's get him back.
Yeah,
That's
right,
basically
that's right.
what, they were probably
That
at some
is.
restaurant.
yeah. They're
And-
like,
and
well,
what's
do
so
we have
bad about
anything to
this?
blackmail him with? It's like,
Yeah.
no, he doesn't do drugs anymore.
But the terrible thing is like he's going to be a version of Tony Stark, probably. Only
Yeah.
he's going to be Victor Von Doom. Why do
Yeah,
we
let's
want that?
demoralize people because they need
Doom
to.
Stark.
Well, they built him up. Tony Stark was the hero of the MCU. If you
Right.
follow his path from the very beginning,
So-
he started off the MCU, and he's the one that defeated the main villain at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And that's why, like if you notice, all the straight white men have either been killed off, turned into comic relief, or have aged out. Okay,
Well,
so
I'm
when
gonna
you
call
have
it now.
Robert Downey, yeah, when you have Robert Downey Jr., they're like, well, shit, he's still remembered as like the hero. You know,
Yeah.
he had his flaws, but he was the de facto hero. And they're like, you know what? We need to assassinate that character. Let's make him a
Yep.
villain.
Well,
Kill
they're
him.
gonna. I think they'll pull a Wicked. You know, every hero,
Yep.
every villain can be a hero. I think that's what
Yeah.
they'll do.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know,
What's up, Victor? I need to catch up on the chat. My bad, guys.
I will say in
Yeah.
regards to that, I feel like Doctor Doom is the only villain that I'm like, yeah, you know, he kind of is right about certain things. Because he's like, I want to rule the world, and you'll all bend the knee to me, but also you'll all be like, you'll be in comfort and peace and security, and
Yeah.
everything will
Yes,
be fine.
yes.
It actually is that way. So it's like, all right.
Beneficent
know?
king, beneficent. Yeah, I'm all right with that. You know, like shit. All right. What's up, Tank? Says
Hey.
good morning, all of you magnificent bastards. Thank you for that. Working and lurking. Well,
Oh.
just you keep making that money.
and lurking.
Yeah. Let's see. Of course, go down. That's all of us. Hey, there we go. What's up, Wrangler?
Hey.
Hola. What's up, man? And I think I'll be joining Wranglers on his show tomorrow night. So that'll be cool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have not been on his show before. So, and I think I was watching his show from last week, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of Iron Age faces over there. So that'll be nice
sweet.
to see some of them again, since I was ostracized there for a little while.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I speak up for B.A. Turner, you know? Anyways. All right, let me get back to it. There we go. Yeah, big reveal. Oh. He's like, I can't believe they got this many people out on this.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta pay child support somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, those castles don't build themselves, you know what I mean?
It'd be
So,
funny if they
alright.
had like stacks of how much money they paid each actor on the seats.
It's like one of those graph videos you see
Right.
on YouTube where it's like the most expensive. Just
Just instead of the actor, it's the chair, right? And
just a pile of money.
A stack of cash.
Breaking Bad style. Like,
Yeah.
All right. So apparently, not a lot has been released about the plot, but and I don't know. I haven't really hung out on this this site before, but on this site, they're talking about what the original. Whoops.
the guy that they're like, here's our new big hope. Let's throw a
Yeah.
token guy in there. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, that's Reed Richards' like kid or whatever. Like, how'd that happen?
Wait, who? Kang?
Yeah. he's related to I think I'm pretty sure he's Reed Richards' like great grand.
Yeah, he's I think his name is Nathaniel Richards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look it up.
It's like
That's fair.
surprise,
I didn't-
motherfucker.
Who's it? So I don't know the Fantastic Four really well, but I remember watching one of those like comic book historians or something like that, and they were talking about, or they went through the story of, was it Frederick? Isn't that the he's like a super fucking being, and he was the son of Reed Richard and
Franklin.
Franklin, that's
Franklin
it.
Richards,
not
yeah.
Frederick. Yeah. I knew it was an F. Close enough. So, anyways, apparently it was going to be, they were setting up Kang, and then unfortunately, he became a stereotype and decided to beat his woman and
Yeah.
be violent and stuff. So,
I didn't know
They
he
got
was
rid of
Native
him.
American. He's part of the Slapahoe tribe.
yeah, we was Indians. So,
Shit.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Are they still doing the Secret Wars? Have you guys heard anything about that? I have
They are.
not. So,
Didn't they
They
ever
are.
have that movie and it came out and nobody cared?
Well,
yeah, it was like a show, wasn't it? Or no?
Yeah. I remember Samuel L. Jackson was in it.
It looked so dumb. It looked really dumb.
They're gonna do they're gonna have a Secret Wars thing after Doomsday, I think. So
Okay.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna make it like a Doom world. So with this coming up, the multiverse is gonna come to a head into a Doom world, and then what they're gonna have to do is defeat Doom somehow. And then
Oh,
they'll-
here we go.
and then I don't know. I've heard they might be getting the Beyonders, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so they're talking a little bit about that in here as well. So if you're watching this and you want to read through the article better, it's comicbookmovie.com / Avengers Kang or whatever. So anyways, it says here Avengers Doomsday is set to be released in May of 26, with Avengers Secret War scheduled to arrive in 27. So yeah, you set up Doctor Doom and then you give him the Secret War movie. That sounds cool. The fact that it's Robert Downey Jr. kind of turns me off,
Yeah,
like I don't want to see, give me somebody new. Like, I don't know. Even if it's, do you need a returning guy face? I don't think you do.
My thing is, how much homework are you expected to freaking do to understand what the hell's going on?
At this
I
point,
I don't have Disney Plus. I'm never going to subscribe to that shit. I just want to watch the movies. And are the movies coherent if I just watch them sequentially? And if they're not, and there's a whole bunch of shit I'm supposed to understand going in, then MCU's doomed. Because nobody, like your parents that are bringing your kids to go see this, they're gonna sit through this and go, "This is freaking terrible. I have no idea what the hell. Who are these characters?" Like,
that's true. Yeah. I don't know. All right, so let's do a little theorizing. What do you guys think the plot is going to be now that everything's been shaken up and changed?
The quest for more money.
I'm completely convinced it's going to be the Jonathan Hickman. Is it called Secret Wars, where Doom takes the power of the Beyonder and becomes God Emperor Doom, and then he's got his whole, I really think that's what it's going to be, and they're going to somehow mix the whole battle world thing in, so it'll be pieces of different universes on the world that he controls.
Yes.
Yeah. Tank says,
That's
I don't
exactly
watch MCU shows. The pitch meeting is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be that, and there's some great visuals in that story. I think there's a thing where Doom rips the spine out of one of the characters, and there's some pretty heavy shit that goes down. But when it's all said and done, it's not going to beat the original Secret Wars. To me, the 80s Secret Wars was always the best.
Yes.
And it's one of the best covers of all time with Doom. He takes on the Beyonder and shreds himself to nothing to take on the power of the Beyonder to defeat him. And we're not going to get that.
That was a great scene. He loses an arm and a leg, and he's still like, I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
I'm invincible. You're a loony.
It's fucking awesome.
What's up, Dave from Genuine Comics? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, a really funny part of that too. One of my favorite parts was when Galactus is there and he's just kind of like looking around like, why am I here? And Ultron's like, I'm gonna take him on, and he tries to kill Galactus, and Galactus just kind of looks at him and burns him to a crisp.
Yeah.
Right. Dave from Genuine Comics is in the chat. What's up, Dave? He says Viggo Mortensen was originally planned to be Dr. Doom. Not sure why it was changed to Downey Jr. Wow.
I just gave the reason why. It was a bunch of Jewish guys at a restaurant talking about how the kids love
no, it's Hollywood. They were in their secret satanic fucking meeting place, right? There's a child prostrate on an altar.
Viggo Mortensen would have been a perfect casting. Holy crap.
He really
would.
Think
of that?
Awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what Tank says too. Viggo would be perfect. Yeah, and we haven't seen him in I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
Yeah.
I've seen him since Lord of the Rings. He did this one movie where he homes no, that was before.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not that one though. I saw that too. It was just all right. A lot of people liked it, but I was just like, yeah, it's okay. But no, he did this one. It was I think it was an indie movie where he homeschools his kids and he comes at odds with the people around or whatever. Oh. And as somebody who homeschools, I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I see Viggo. I was like, oh, nice. I like anything Viggo does.
It's Viggo.
It's Viggo. We got over 30 people watching right now. So if you are new here and you haven't, or you're not new here and you haven't, shame on you. Hit the like, hit the sub, and then come back next week. And also go check out the other stuff. This Indie Shops, title and stuff is still bringing in viewers a couple weeks later on those older shows, so that's awesome. So keep coming back, watch them all. They're all gonna be cool. Anyways, so let's see, I was gonna talk about something else. Let me pull this up 1 second as I fumble around.
Okay, Boomer.
So, yeah, how is that possible?
Yeah.
All right, so this is actually the Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom wiki, if you can say all that. And it listed everybody that's supposed to be in it. And some of these guys I wasn't familiar with, so I was going to look at some of them. But we went pretty well over everybody, and it looks like everybody in that, except for Chris Evans, as a to be confirmed character.
Oh.
So there's that. What do you think that's going to be?
Oh, let's see how they debase and like humiliate Captain America or whatever Chris Evans will be representing.
Yeah, because if they go to Doom World or Battle World or whatever they call it, they'll probably show like the evil Cap, is what I'm thinking.
Oh God,
they'll probably show the Hydra Cap.
Hydra Cap.
I'm guessing they're hoping to do that.
Hydra Cap. Yeah, of course. That would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Because then everybody be like, oh, it's Captain America's bad guy now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's it doesn't show me anything. All right.
Yeah, I'm so tired. I hate myself for being that pessimistic, but it's like when you're more often right than wrong, it kind of you kind of go with it. It's like, oh.
Well, and this also Benedict Cumberbatch, he it would be nice to see Stephen Strange back, because I really I like Benedict as Strange. I think he does a really good job.
Perfect.
The first Strange movie is one of the best out of the MCU. It's one of the top ones. Like the first Iron Man is great. Was it the I really liked the third Thor. I thought that was a really good one. What else? Basically every Captain America with Chris Evans as Captain America, all of those were good. Were great. Like they really stood out on their own. But Winter Soldier was a definite jewel in the crown. So it'll be cool to see Cumberbatch back.
Well, have you seen the Multiverse of Madness with him?
I did.
Yeah, and it turned into a humiliation ritual. Like he's like at the dinner table or like some restaurant, and God, it's him and Benedict Wong or whatever, and whatever America Chavez or whatever, and they're like making fun of him for not being able to speak Spanish, and like I'm just like, cállate, chingado pendejo. I'm like seriously, like screw you. Like you got this guy that's like this insanely intelligent dude, and now you're like shitting on him.
Yeah. Why are they speaking Spanish to begin with? Doesn't she come from like a lesbian utopia world? Yeah. Why the fuck are they speaking Spanish?
Apparently it's a Latina like lesbian utopia world.
It makes
me so stupid.
Yeah. What are you saying that lesbians can't create a utopia?
Well, according to the domestic violence,
It's fucking battle world. Like what? Lesbian utopia is battle world? That's weird.
Yeah, like the most dysfunctional like domestic violence relationships possible on a global scale.
We're going to hell. So I don't know. I like Vanessa Kirby. She's great. I think she's a little old in my opinion. I know. Don't talk about her age, but like if they're going to keep her playing, fantastic Sue Storm for 10 years. Guys, you gotta get them when they're in their 20s. Like,
Jessica Alba was perfect, dude. They're like, oh, she can't act or whatever. I thought she was freaking awesome as Sue Storm.
I had a hard
time all right.
suspending disbelief with her.
Dude, she was hot as hell in that too. Holy crap.
She was, but they made her eyes blue, and I'm like, this is just weird. I just didn't think it looked right with her. Vanessa Kirby's more believable to me. She looks more Sue Storm.
As an older Sue Storm?
Well, she's straight up blonde and white, and you don't need makeup and hair dye.
You don't need to make it crypto. But Aaron, I think you're totally on. Like, there's no like long-term planning in this because Sue Storm as a character has always been like a dime. She's always been hot as hell, and nothing against this actress because I think she's gorgeous, but like what's she gonna look like in a decade post Wall? Like when the menopause starts, like
post Wall.
Like I'm sorry, but like like
CGI will take care of it all, man.
Yeah, sure. At that point, they're just gonna have like a Mortal Kombat character in there. Like,
They'll probably do something where they combine previous roles she's used with AI technology and CGI that onto her face to like de-age actors that way.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like the actors are going to be immortal. It's almost like they're going to be idols or gods. Huh.
Yeah, celebrity deification.
Stars in the sky, even. Dave says, however, this topic does nothing for me. I have no interest in anything Marvel or Disney whatsoever. Sorry, Dave. But he does say
we're gonna be
we
talking about
appreciate the
some other
indie shop.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, just come back next week, Dave. We'll talk about something different.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tank says they must destroy all heroes so that their villains can become the new idols. Hollywood is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, you have a good Sunday too. And actually, if you want to see some more interviews and stuff with indie creators, go to Dave's channel, Junior in Comics. He promotes all the time. So
Hell yeah. I think he's got one today too at like 2:00.
yeah, he's like an hour or two after our show's over. He does his. So
man.
let's see.
Oh wait, so Eben Moss Bachrach. Okay, now I know where that name is. That's the dude from Stranger Things that was like the most beloved character in that latest season. Eddie.
Wait. Who?
No, that's Joseph Quinn.
Oh,
No,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Then who
that's
the hell
Joseph
is this
Quinn,
guy?
yeah.
Then who the hell is this guy?
He's
I'm
got
lost.
like a cooking show that everybody's all goo goo gaga
Bear.
about.
The Bear. Yeah.
The Bear?
Yeah, he's on The Bear. He's been in other movies too. He's been good in almost everything I've seen him in. I've liked him in a lot of things.
Yeah,
They have
here's
got to
the
drop
thing.
his voice down. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about Grim.
I'm the thing. It's clobbering time. Come on.
No.
Let's go get him, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Why are you speaking English, Stretcho?
I would watch that. I would watch that. It's like a real serious scene, and I'm in the background cackling.
Oh, dude.
But he looks perfect. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the most accurate I've ever seen this thing look.
Yeah,
I
everything
actually
about
think
the
his head
Fantastic
is-
Four looks great.
I think his head is just a little bit small, to be honest. Just a little bit.
All right, get out.
Other than that, I mean, as an artist, I'm looking at it and I'm going, the proportions just are a little bit different. But yeah,
Wait,
I love the look of it, though.
So like, here's the thing: is like, I actually kind of am in favor of people I don't know playing characters because it's become this cameo of celebrities to play characters, and they're playing themselves instead of their characters. So I'm all for not knowing who the actor is. Like,
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. And that's how it kind of used to be. I mean, the superhero movies starting out. I mean, I guess Robert Downey Jr. is kind of an exception, but
Yeah.
you know, like Chris Evans wasn't really that big when he was cast as Captain America.
No.
Or
No,
you know, there's
it's true.
the one Superman actor from Superman Returns. I forgot what his name was.
Brendan Routh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that dude?
I don't know. He must have pissed somebody off in Hollywood because like that guy went from like being in almost everything to like nothing at all instantly.
Well, you know, the last thing I saw him in, he played a gay dude. I was like, well, that, you know, there's his penance to be in Hollywood movies, right? His career is going to be made. And
Put
then
the
he
dress
was
on.
gone. Yeah, he put the dress on. He played a gay dude and kissed another man on screen. I was like, well, there's his career. And he disappeared. I was like, that's really odd. So I don't know, maybe became a real estate agent and, you know, was just making a bunch of money.
He was, dude. He's a great actor too. He was in that the people something of tomorrow or whatever on the WB. He played.
I never saw that.
Yeah, like he was a good Superman. I think the whole thing that screwed that Superman movie was the writing and not his performance. Like I actually enjoyed him as Superman.
Yeah, it could have been better. You know, unfortunately, but I think his performance was great. It felt like I was watching, you know,
the Christopher
Reeve. Yeah. It fell right into place and everything. It was really cool. So, we got, oops, not you. There we go. We got Frederick. What's up, Frederick Guiman? What's up? Yeah. How's it going? It's going all right, dude. We've also got Madness Comic Network. Convinced to be woke, destined to go broke. Yeah.
Yep.
See, Wrangler says he reprised his role as Superman in Earth's version of Crisis on Infinite Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, and I think I saw him. He was in something else too, where he reprised his role as Superman, wasn't he? Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, he was like an older version of himself. Like that was cool.
Okay.
I just remember him from Scott Pilgrim as the vegan.
Right. Yeah. You know, it's funny. My daughter, she just discovered Scott Pilgrim like a couple months ago or something, and so she watched it a few times, you know, over the course of a couple weeks. And so I got to watch the movie a couple of times. I had never sat and watched it all. I remember seeing it on Comedy Central or something when I used to watch network TV, and I would only see bits and pieces. Plus, there'd be commercials and all this, so I didn't really get to see the full movie. And then when she got into it, I watched it from beginning to end. Movie's hilarious. The whole thing is really good.
The big meta that kind of goes over a lot of people is the fact that it shows Canadians as a bunch of superficial, obnoxious assholes. And the only good character, like, so obviously Knives Chow, like, she got screwed over. But, like, honestly, the joke was at the very end of the movie when Scott meets his evil counterpart. And the evil counterpart is the good guy. So the whole time you're like, why is this guy such an asshole? Like, everybody in the show is like obnoxious, and then it's like, oh, because the evil counterparts are the good
guys. Hilarious. Yeah. So I guess from here we can go ahead and switch. Let me X out some of this stuff. We can switch over to the second topic, which is for the beginners. I've finally officially been in the game long enough that I see a lot of new faces that are out there promoting books, and it's like it's a new generation, as they say, is starting to spring up. And Patrick, in my opinion, is one of those. Yeah. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of pick your brain, find out a little bit about you. Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, how much of a beginner are you in the networking scheme?
Networking wise, yeah, it's probably a super high level beginner.
Right on.
I've been around Comicsgate for 4 or 5 years at this point, just in the background, lurking around, writing my book. And then once I launched the first one is when I really started to try to do the whole, that's when I got social media again. I was off social media completely. So I got Twitter, which that's interesting. And it's also Elon Musk bought it. So it was like, at the time I was a little more happy about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And that's where everybody was in Comicsgate. So for me, it was really just like talking to other people who have campaigns and being like, hey, let's just talk about your campaign.
Yeah.
It was, and that's the whole like grab an oar thing. Like I like that idea that it's helpful for everybody to support one another. Mm-hmm. So that's what I decided to do with the Commandos is just have people on and talk about their work and just get to know people that way. And just have conversations, just regular, like if we were sitting in a bar or something,
Yeah, just bullshitting about comics.
Yeah.
And that's exactly similar to what I did as well. It's like when I first started, so I had a first version of my book, and I put it up on Kickstarter, and it did $300. I had nothing. I had no, so it didn't fund, and I was like, well, damn. And the original book was not with Jose Garcia. I had met Jose, but he'd only done the Knights of Locutus part of the story, and I had a different guy do the original, the full first comic and all that stuff. So I was like, Jose, I need to find a way to market this. Like, how do I, where do I go? And he was like, that's when he told me about Comicsgate and especially about Michael Bancroft's channel. He's like, go there and see if you can, make anything happen. So I went and I was watching, some of the shows, the indie comic shows. It was like him, Joe Sontag, I don't know, a couple people that aren't around anymore. I was watching, and I did that for like a year just to kind of like, look at everything. And I liked everybody, the chat was always fun. People were cool to talk to about comics and whatnot. And especially everybody, could sit and stitch and bitch about what's going on in pop culture. So that all that was cool. But then I was like, I've got to do more than just be a face in the chat or a name in the chat. Even at that point, nobody really knows you, even as just like a name. So I was like, let me do a channel, and I'll start asking these guys. I'll have them on. I'll start asking them not only about their projects, but also about how they go about networking and how they do their process. Where do you find your printer? how do you do, what does this stuff mean? All that kind of stuff. And for me, that really helped me learn a lot, at least from where I was coming from, about like how to approach all this stuff. So I'll say for a beginner, I would say you need to be seen. So you don't have to be a YouTuber, but you got to be doing, maybe shorts on YouTube or Instagram or something, so that people can see you and your personality. Because tip number 2 in networking is when you're selling yourself. Okay, you're selling your project, but you're also the salesman. You are your salesman. You have to kind of present yourself in a likable way, which is really hard for me, but I just still able to do it.
The veil of sanity slips.
I mean, look at me. They put me in a dungeon even. So, it's like, I don't know. You gotta get out there. You gotta talk and network and stuff. Unfortunately, one of the cons about it is that, and I know Chris and Derek, you guys have experienced this, is the factions, right?
Oh,
it's
God,
like, the cliques, the factions, the lunchroom kind of mentality of you can't sit at our table. That stuff sucks. But, you can also, not engage. If you see, people fighting on say Twitter, and they're like, oh, I know that faction, and then these guys are fighting each other. You don't have to comment or have an opinion. You don't have to throw yourself into any of it.
Dude,
You
it's
just
so
let them do it.
awkward. It's so awkward when you're on a panel and you've got one of the really polarized faction people, and they just like shit all, and I'm just like sitting quiet. That's bad. That's weird for me. My big mouth, half Jew Korean ass is like what?
Your laughter.
Yeah, exactly. Like they because it's like
awkward.
I'm not there to be like vindictive or like I know some people hate team A and other people hate team B, or some people hate both teams A and B. I don't care. Like I'll buy, like if they're making a cool book, like I don't have to like the Gallagher brothers to appreciate Oasis's music. Like I'm here for the content, and if it entertains me, then that's the important part. And I have friends on both sides of the divide, and I don't want to, like, the friends that I have are the ones that never told me you have to pick a side.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's true. I mean, I tend to, Chris, on this show, when Iron Age was starting, we were constantly pushing, Iron Age. We had book authors. I've had tabletop guys, the old school Renaissance dudes. Yeah. They were, a big part of my shows at the time. And so you remember we've even had self-avowed Marxists on the show. Yeah. So it's like, wow. I really don't like those kind of guys.
That's going on your permanent record, Aaron.
Well, I can disagree about, but it's the people that are almost like fanatical about it. It's like, that that person in their group is terrible. It's like, all right, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. You want to talk about comic books or something? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Think like me, or you're the enemy. And it's like, what? Like, dude, normal people don't think like that. Like, that's how you're in a cult, is when you can't.
There it is.
You can't suffer anybody that has a differing opinion. I'm wrong all the time, and I'm happy to admit it, because if I knew everything, there'd be no point of being alive. Because you've already seen, it's like God mode.
I mean, pleasure is nice, but
no, but like if you knew everything, you knew what everything was about, and like you were the smartest guy in the world, and all this stuff, like it's like playing God mode in Doom, and you get bored as shit after like the first 5 minutes. You're like, okay, I've seen everything that's out there. I don't care anymore. Like, So I do stupid shit all the time, and that's part of being a human. Like you've got to understand that not everybody, like nobody is infallible. We all make mistakes. We all, and we pick ourselves up. That's what makes us, like, your friends aren't the ones that agree with you and treat you nice. Your friends are the ones that disagree with you and treat you nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully make fun of me. Like, because I'm
going
to
deep.
Wow. Good. I like it.
The clown.
Wrangler says for an introvert and borderline hermit like me, talking is the hard part.
Yeah, man.
That's a big part of the networking. Is you got to be where the people are, and you got to interact with them. It's being in indie comics is just like I wouldn't say any, but I'm sure it's very similar to every other kind of networking market. Is like it's going to be full of all kinds of screwballs and different types of personalities. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's a part of being in a market, networking with, indie creators. It's just the way it's going to be. It's just like, you get real estate agents together, or you get salesmen at a convention. They're all going to be different, and they're all going to have their different opinions and stuff like that. So, but you have to get out there and you've got to talk. You got to start talking about yourself, your project, show people what your personality is like. So,
don't be afraid. I started on Bancroft.
Whatever don't bring your kids into it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
That's okay. I started on Bancroft as like lurking, and just about 5 years ago, I was lurking in there. 6 years ago now, probably, and didn't really interact a lot, and I was like, man, nobody's even knowing I'm here, so I'll just start chatting a little bit. And once I did that, it kind of opened up a lot of relationships there, just because people recognized my name. And then I didn't just stay there, though. I started going on other channels and picking different people. So, that was great in this community. The problem for me is networking outside of that, because I was able to get my name known. People saw me, saw my face, and then I had to start my own channel, much like you, Aaron.
Yep.
And we did that, and we promoted for years. It's kind of funny now, because it's like, now that I've stopped promoting and being on my own show, people forget who I am. So I'm having to start from scratch all over again.
Sure.
Because even though I've made inroads to some of these shows, and of course I know people in the community, but I'm still kind of forgotten about. It's almost like they're putting me in the group of people who have gone away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like an algorithm.
Yeah. Well, it's the algorithm, but also, I quit my book, and because I quit the book, they've I don't know if they've written me off, but they've just kind of put me in the discard pile of artists. And they're like, "Oh, you do art?" I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I've been around for like 5 years, dude.
Well, and to be fair,
dude, I get that too. They're like, "Oh, you have a book? Hello, look at my dick. Like, what the hell?"
Yeah, and I'm going, wait a minute. Yes, I've been a creator for this long. Plus, I've promoted. Plus, I've been in the chats. How do you forget who I am? But okay, you forget. And so it's like starting over. So I'm doing it again. So I'm having to get back into the chats again. I'm having to get back out there and rework it. And it's like
you got to get on shows.
Yeah, you got to get into the shows again.
You got to be seen. It's a huge part of it.
But that's still just scratching the surface, because this community is still small compared to what you need to be able to sell a book.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so that's a part of it too. Sorry, go ahead and finish.
No, that's exactly my point. Okay. So you're I think it's a great segue.
Yeah. So you got to remember that it's not just the online community, the people with the YouTube shows, it's not just the Twitter communities and the hashtags and all that stuff. That's just the online networking. You've also got to be networking, offline. You got to physical. You've got to go to, stores, shops. You got to talk to convention people. You've got to be seen. You've got to, shake hands and kiss babies kind of stuff all the time. Like so with my two campaigns, they were both funded, thankfully, by people in the community, or if not specifically in, other, creators and stuff buying it. Maybe I go on their show, they see me, they like the Jose's art, or they're big into epic fantasy, whatever it is. And so they back me. And I'm able to take that money and make copies of my book for other people, not just the ones who bought it on my campaign. And I think some people get into this and they think that, all the buyers on their campaign, that's going to be their new fan base or something. But that's not it. They just gave you the capital to print out copies of your book, to go to stores, to to put it in whatever you can put it. Go to I could go to a Renaissance fair because it's a fantasy book. I go to anime conventions because it's very anime style, Jose's work. So I have different options and places to sell it, instead of just on YouTube and just in other people's to other people's chat or something like that. So let me catch up a little bit on people are talking. So Well, first of all, Wrangler was saying Fisk is hitting it and nail on the head. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I don't know what I don't know what I said. I got a big.
It was
mouth.
a rant somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was your
If you guys wait long enough, Chris will rant again,
Yeah.
so it'll be fine. Tank says, I 100% agree. I don't care about the Mean Girls versus Heather's mentality.
Yeah.
Me neither. I get turned off by that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Wrangler's like, what about Veronica? Tank says, I feel that starting from scratch, I lost the PW to my old X account.
Oh,
password,
no.
old password, and have to start almost completely over.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that would be tough. Tank also says, how could anyone forget the Dukester?
Yeah.
Crazy talk. Yeah. Let's see. Frederick says, 100% agree, Aaron. See, I like to hear that. I like it when people agree with me. It says it's good to have a niche outside CG as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, like, so like I was talking about, I had, you know, the tabletop guys, the OSR guys, and at first I was like, they came off as, you know, fighting back against the complete rot that is Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons currently. So I was like, these are my bros, you know, and so had them on, started promoting them all and stuff, you know, but and I'm trying, so that's a whole nother community. Like they do their own thing. They're not really into comic books, you know, so trust me, I try to sell to them as well. I go on their shows, I try to sell, you know, all that stuff. And then also with Iron Age, you know, originally that started off because mainly because Razor Fist coined the term with his video and all that stuff. And so it was another potential market. And that was mainly, you know, it seemed like he was talking mainly to novel writers, pulp fiction writers, that kind of stuff. And the prose guys. And so I started having book writers on, you know, and was like championing the Iron Age and stuff like that. And then of course Comicsgate as well, you know, never not been, you know, for CG. So it's like you've got to not just put your stuff out there for one marketplace. You know, I'm going on tabletop shows because I have Epic Fantasy. Somebody's going to, you know, and they do, you know, it's not necessarily as much as say getting on a show like, you know, Shane Davis has Pit My Comic and you can make $1,000, you know, because those people are there to buy comics. And whereas like on the fantasy channels or whatever, maybe not, you know, it's more tabletop stuff. So that's just the way it is. But you have got to, you know, throw your net out there in every marketplace that you can, anywhere that will be interesting.
What kind of advice do you have for somebody that does cast their net out there, but because they're friends with Faction B, Faction A won't let them on their shows, or they're friends with Faction A and Faction B won't let them on their shows?
Right. Yeah, that's a tough one. So I have encountered this. They won't come out and say it, but it'll be like, you know, hey, can I come on your show? It'll be like, oh yeah, sure. And then they find out, it's like they find out who you are, and then suddenly they
You're
like
just
backtrack,
invited.
or they don't talk to you anymore, you know, that kind of stuff. They don't try to reset up anything, and it's just like, well, I can't go that way. And I guess I would rather not have, you know, go that way, because, you know, like it's toxic. Like if your thing is all about, you know, fighting faction to faction, then it doesn't matter. If I'm not in that faction, then they're not going to buy from me anyways, you know? So I don't want to go there and waste an hour or two for an audience that isn't going to like me. You know, it's a tough sell.
So what do you think, Patrick?
Sorry.
I don't
you.
I don't really
I'm talking a lot.
I wouldn't say I'm the best at networking by any. I'm really not that good at it. But what I would say is that I don't know. I don't really like worry so much. I just kind of like, I don't know. This book is going to be made regardless of really of how many people buy it or don't buy it, because I just have this, like, I have to make this. I have to tell this story. So I just do my best to be a nice guy, really. I do have my opinions, certainly. I am in certain factions, you could say. I don't like to, you know, make that my identity, though. You know what I mean? Like, my identity is more, I'm a comic book writer, and then I've got my opinions, which you know, if people ask me questions, I'll answer honestly. But and obviously, there's certain opinions that I have that people would not have me on their show for, which is fine. I'm just like, you know, Maybe this sounds a little lame to people, but I just kind of like, I'm just like, God's going to take care of it. I'm just going to leave it up to him. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stress myself out over it. I've already got enough things. And I mean, the world is run by pedophile, cannibal overlords.
He's not
That's
wrong.
stressful,
Yeah,
I'm getting
satanic
stressed about
pedophile.
this small stuff.
Oh
So,
boy.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's like you
Shut it
can't
down.
be-
They know.
yeah, shut it down.
yeah.
He's talking on the walkie-talkie. No, you can't be emotionally invested in a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
You know how many people in the 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this that have come and gone, shows
Yeah.
that used to promote and are just out of there, or people who came out with one book and then folded up and said never mind and then gave a middle finger as they left. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do any of that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get the rage at like, dude, you asked people for money and they didn't give it to you. Okay,
Yeah.
like that, you're not owed money. Like, you move on. You're like, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, my product wasn't enticing enough for you to give me money. I'll move on.
Yeah.
Not how
That's
dare
the problem,
you?
I think. They don't have the humility to consider that it's maybe them why they didn't make the
Yeah.
money.
It's like maybe sell better, like work on your salesman personality. I don't know.
Yeah, or
see,
take feedback.
or hire a chick with boobs, like that might help.
Can't go wrong with it.
All right. Tank says, if caught between factions, wish them good roads and good weather, and go on with your day. Exactly. Yeah. If the faction fighting is everything you're about, then I can't help you, bro. I'm here to talk about comics and what it is to be an indie entrepreneur.
Dude, it gets so exhausting too. Like maybe I'm just too lazy to like I'm not intentionally an asshole. If I come off as one, it's not by intention. It's from
you do. No.
but like I just see these people that are like so seething with rage. Like they attack this dude for liking a book, or they attack this guy because he was on someone's show or whatever. And I'm like, is this really what you want to be remembered for?
Yeah, that's true. Your public face, is a part of your brand. So if you have a product that you're selling, you got a project that you're trying to push out there, it's going to be associated with that, for a long time. So, and then you'll be put on somebody else's table, whether or not you want to be. And it's just let them fight it out.
Yeah.
You get the Godzilla and the Mecha Godzilla, fight, let them fight.
Barbara.
Tank says, I was on Risey's channel talking about the Jerry Springer paradox.
Oh, damn.
All right. I got to hear this.
Yeah.
Lady Ali Books.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey,
what is Risey's channel? I don't know that one. And what is the Jerry Springer paradox? I got to hear that too.
I know. This requires more.
Yeah. It's like, wait, don't go away. Come back. All right. Pale Rider says, people tend to take the internet a bit too seriously. Yes. Stop being so emotionally invested.
Yeah.
You're here for comic books, right?
Does it cost you blood or money?
Speaking of comic books, let us move on to Patrick's comic.
Yeah. Phenomenon.
Phenomenon number 2. Whoops. Here we go.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenon number 2, the second book in the mainline ensemble cast long form story of Phenomenon. The last book I released was Phenomenal Tales. Those are like spin-off comics. But in the same universe. But this continues the main story, which is already completely written. I wrote it 2 years ago. And so there's about 15, 16 issues. Once I translate it from regular script to comic book script, it's going to probably be about 16 issues. And this is number 2. That's the Phenomenal Tales, the last comic, which actually, folks, you can pick up that beautiful Gilmore cover, or you can pick up, there's an amazing new cover by actually Frederick Guman, who's in the chat right now.
Awesome.
That's the Jimmy Reyes cover for the first issue of Phenomenon.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
And that's the last time.
Cool.
That is literally the last time anybody will. This campaign is the last time anybody will ever be able to get Phenomenon number 1 in any form, and also it might be actually the last Jimmy Reyes comic book cover.
Oh wow!
Ever.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
He's decided to give himself to God, apparently, on his channel now. So I wish him luck and good weather, as Tank said.
And those are limited
anyways.
in number, so if you guys want to get those, you should take a look at that as soon as you can.
Yeah.
All right.
But
let's
yeah.
see. Let me go through this here real quick. See, 30 years after the devastating atomic war, Soviet Spetsnaz must thwart a desperate heist by the terrorist Lantern organization.
Oh,
All right.
cool.
Yeah.
Make them say niet.
You guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who did your trailer?
Von Claus.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, digging the synths.
Yeah.
My brother and I
definitely.
actually wrote that song.
Oh, sweet, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I did some of the writing, and he did all of the synth stuff.
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah. I'm down
Like
with the synth.
Yeah.
See, The Tale of Phenomenon 1999 continues with issue number 2. This book picks up directly after the successful raid. Oh, spoiler. See, don't spoil me. Raid on the Soviet research and development facility known as, what is it, D6?
Mm-hmm.
By the terrorist Lantern organization in issue number 1. Very cool. So this is set in 1999, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Soviet
Nice.
Union hasn't fallen.
That's right. Alternate universe where the United States and the Soviet Union had an atomic war.
Oh,
Oh,
The
shit.
Soviet Union's still hanging around, and they're still kind of in a kind of lukewarm war at this point, where they're still trying to build up their military, just because you don't want to be threatened again.
Right. Yeah, it's another arms race kind of deal.
Yes, very much so.
So did they develop like super soldiers and shit? Is that what's going on?
So that's
see
what the
some-
Soviet Union has focused on. They have a brilliant scientist, Diamond, who has discovered a way to give people superpowers. It's all
Okay.
rather mysterious as to how he does it, but this is actually a first in the countries of the world, so it's of concern to everybody involved. Not only the rebellion that's trying to overthrow the Soviet state that's within Russia, but then also, the United States is kind of upset about this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the revivalist or alternate history kind of stuff is pretty cool. I mean, especially because I grew up, 80s, my childhood and all that stuff. But my dad was longtime military, and so I saw all the 80s war movies. I remember, the Soviet discussion. They would have the propaganda movies where
Wolverines.
the nukes are going to rain down, all that stuff. Yes. So this, to me, this is a bit of nostalgia on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, you see all these like alternate universe or like where the Nazis are the bad guys, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sci-fi kind of thing. And I was like, we don't have that with the commies, and the commies were arguably much worse.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There's still a
You
clear
gotta-
and present danger.
right. A more insidious danger too, because they've kind of inserted themselves into our country secretly.
Yep.
When Nikita
Yeah.
Khrushchev said that America will one day wake up and find out that it's communist, he was not incorrect.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Which we talk about on this show. Frederick Guimond. I can't. I'm
Guimond.
terrible at
It's
French.
Guimond.
I just say Guimond.
Guimond.
Yeah.
Guimond.
GUI is
pick up
a
the
G
Guimond cover. Yeah, of course. Yes. Frederick Guimond says pick up Guimond cover. Yes. Wrangler says I want to see Minotaur versus Drake Hardy.
Yeah.
Tank says a reveal is only a spoiler if the journey is not worth taking again.
Yeah.
That's very poetic and true. Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, Darth Vader is Luke's father.
No.
Derek agreed. You need to hook
Yes.
people on the story.
Yeah, well, I was on a show, and we were trying to reveal parts of our story. And
Yeah.
when we revealed parts of the story, Kevin, the writer, he didn't want to go into like what the Celestials were. Well, it's called Ballad of the Celestials,
Yeah.
right? So everybody's going,
Yeah.
"What's a Celestial?
Only
What are
Hagen.
they?" He did
What do you
not want to
mean?
say
Yeah.
it. And he goes, "No, it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler." I said, "It's really not. You're just telling people what the story is about." And he would never go there. And I'm like, I'm never doing that with my story.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
my story was written over 30 years ago, like
Yeah, yeah.
back in the 90s and stuff. And like it's hard for me to not spoil, so I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what it is. Like,
But you have to hook
Basically.
your readers, right? You have to hook
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You got to give them enough information to go, "Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
I want to read that."
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, like
I had
last-
that problem
last
at
week,
first. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so
Yeah.
last week we had James Craig on, and I played my trailer and all that stuff. And he asked me, he was like, "So, how much of the book did you just reveal in all of that?"
Yeah.
I was like, a lot of it, but it's like that. Most of the art is not there, but the story, I've already basically explained the first 2 books in that trailer. Whether or not you know it, that's pretty much the story. And then in the third one, I'll make a new trailer and it'll talk about all 3 books. But the point is to get your interest. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I don't give away a lot of big reveals or nothing like that. But most of the story, you can decipher from the trailer itself. So I'm okay with that. I agree with you.
Not only that, but just to jump in, like to spoil the debut book in like the promotion of like the sophomore offering, in my
Yeah.
opinion, isn't a bad thing, because
No. Yeah.
the debut
They don't
book
know
is
you.
to introduce you to the world and the setting and the characters. The second book is generally, okay, now that you know all of that, let's start like the story, or like let's start,
Right.
So like I'm already jazzed. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, it's 1999. Alternative Soviet Union is still around. They have
Yeah.
people that have figured out a way to make superheroes. Okay, we got that. Now let's see how this goes. This looks awesome. Like,
Right.
show me more.
Yeah, let me see the dialogue. Let me see how the characters
Right.
interact. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Wrangler says spoilers are usually what ends up selling me on whether or not I want to watch and read something.
Yeah.
It's fair.
So Patrick, what were you going to say just a second ago?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry about that.
I had that problem in the beginning of being like, oh, I don't want to, give away what's going on in the story. But then I realized you're right that you have to like let people know something. And
Yep.
and then I started really being honest with myself and thinking about it. And it's like the things that I tell you guys about this are like not the big things at all. There's so much that's gone into this story. Like me telling you that the Lanterns got their hands on the serum last issue is not.
Right.
It's the lowest of the things, and actually even within that comic, there's several things that if people really pay attention, they'll be like, wait a minute, what's this? What's going on?
Yeah, it's
here?
the nuance.
Yeah.
It's the nuance in the writing. No, I agree. Frederick says Canada is something of a communist country.
Yeah.
So, no,
Yeah. Who voted for
Yes, it
Carnage?
Yeah. Shit. I was going to say something. I forgot. Oh, yeah,
There's
that's
his
it.
cover right there.
Yeah.
We were up to nice. We were up to 40 people. So if
very
you are
cool.
new here or you're not new here, hit the sub. Damn it. And let's get my numbers up. I'm barely over 420. And I'm just trying to get to 500 still. So help me out, guys. I know I took a break. Every few months, I seem to disappear for a couple of months. But I'm back right now, and I'm making good content. So show me you appreciate it. Hit the like. Hit the sub. And, and keep watching, damn it. All right, let's go through this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that right there is the last comic I did, Phenomenal Tales 1. That is being re-released with the Frederick Gaumont cover. And
Yes.
it's beautiful. I love it. There's even symbolism here within this cover. It's just so much fun to do this stuff.
Yeah, dude. Making
We've
comics
got
is fun.
the Peter Gilmore covers, and then obviously the Paul Revauche cover.
Yeah, that looks great. It kind of gives me like a G.I. Joe Cobra kind of vibe too.
Good, and it's weird because I never watched or was interested in G.I. Joe. I was always like just a Marvel kid. But now I look at it and like I look at it as an adult and I'm like, whoa, like all of my character designs are very similar to like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I love
aesthetic,
that.
And I'm like,
love it.
Yeah,
but now I think
It
G.I.
has-
Joe's sick.
like that right there. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That-
that's
that could
definitely
be a Cobra.
And it
Yeah,
just keeps
Cobra,
going more and more.
beautiful.
Once we start seeing more of those guys, because they've all generally got their own themes, like animal themes, or like there's like the guy up there shooting the the DPM, that gun with the circular top-mounted magazine.
Yes.
His name is Ore Killer, so he's based on like an orca. So they all have like somewhat themes to their militaristic costumes.
Right on.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, makes it good silhouette language too.
Yeah,
You know who's who.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Silhouette language. Yeah. Good choice of words. Yeah. So this looks great. And you're saying this is the last chance to get issue 1. Is that right?
That's correct.
Wow.
Whoa, that's
Yep.
ballsy.
Yeah, jump in.
Because issue 1 was done by a different artist, and I just don't feel what I'm offering now is new and improved, and I want to like keep that same level of quality for everything from now on. So I mean, I know people want to, they want to see what happened in the first issue.
Yeah.
So that's why it's there, because people asked for it. But I don't know. I just feel like I want to keep the ball rolling here, and so yeah.
Yeah.
Wrangler says 420. Yeah, I'm with you. I encountered something similar because the original artist on the first draft of the book and all that stuff, very different than Jose Garcia, and I wanted continuity of art because Jose's style is so unique and so badass that I was like, well, let's just stay with it. And plus, Jose is very professional to work with, so I was like, let's do it. And the other artist was classic, hard to get a hold of, and to be fair, he lives in like the Philippines or Indonesia somewhere, and the government kept shutting off the internet.
Oh,
and so we would go like months without hearing from each other. So that sucked.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frederick says never interested in G.I. Joe. That's it. You're canceled. That's what I said. Get out. Get out, dude. By the way, Patrick, if you ever feel like it, maybe put it on the background. They've got full episodes of G.I. Joe on YouTube. In fact, they've got like a marathon channel where they just play 24 hours.
Really?
Because me and my son, when nothing's going on, or, in the morning or something, we'll put on some G.I. Joe and watch like 2 or 3 episodes, while he's kind of like eating breakfast and waking up and all that. Wrangler says, I grew up on the G.I. Joe and Transformers cartoons, but I didn't get into comics at all until the 90s. So I follow, I think it's CG Horror on Twitter, and he's constantly posting G.I. Joe art. And I'm like, man, I need to go back and just reread some old G.I. Joe stuff. And then I've also been watching like G.I. Joe lore videos. And I'm like, man, that's some good ass shit. Maybe I should. That's some gourmet shit. Maybe I should go back and check it out. Tank says the sequential work looks great. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Those are good.
I actually did the layouts for this. So Claudio just takes the layouts and does them one for one. It's very fun.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Wrangler says, and knowing is half the battle. Yes.
Yeah.
The other
half
of course, is of course extreme violence.
Right.
I thought it was
Is
blue
killing a
laser
man.
from Red Laser.
Having a bigger gun. That's what it's fucking.
Pork
Anyways.
chop sandwiches.
Yeah. All right. Well, that looks gay. Great. Not gay. That looks great. You've got-
Oh, that looks really gay. Kicked him.
That's it. I'm kicked. I'm out.
Patrick comes on, shows us his badass look, and you're like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
looks gay.
Okay.
See you, loser.
Yeah. Fuck you too,
We
Aaron.
were talking about networking. This is how you destroy networking.
Yeah. Let's burn that shit. No, we got
Patrick's first
39
post on
backers.
Twitter. Let's screw these people.
I'm just
Yeah,
thankful
you got-
nobody farted while I was showing this comic off.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what the mute is for.
You ruined everything. 39
Yeah, I mean that
backers
would suck. Oh, I mean,
is pretty nice.
Man.
Yeah, you pop
yeah, this
your
looks sweet, man.
Yeah,
Thank
it does
you.
look
pop
good.
your. Oh shit, that looks good. 39 backers, 1,800 raised in 8 days. Well, way to go.
Yeah, good on you,
Pretty
man.
good.
56 days ago. So you put a time limit on it, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah, all of these campaigns will all be like they're generally like 2.5 to 3 months long, and then it's off. Once it's off,
Yeah.
the only way you're going to get that comic is like issue 2 will be re-released with a new cover on the next campaign, and that's just how I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep rolling along like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Good
Frederick says G.I. Joe had great writing because of Larry Hama at Marvel.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe he
Yeah.
was a vet. Yeah, he was also. I saw CG Horror posted. I think it was him. He posted a picture. Larry Hama was in an episode of MASH.
Yes,
So
I've heard that.
take that on for a second.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a,
cool.
a Japanese guy pretending to be Korean.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the episode. He was like sitting
Probably
in a
true.
Jeep or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it looks great. I like your pricing too. I mean, look at that 10
Yeah.
plus shipping. That's
Yeah.
really good. Like that's really good. It's
Yeah.
like some of these campaigns is like, do you know what you're doing with your pricing? You know, like have you
Yeah.
looked into how much it's going to cost to print? You know, and then also, ship it and everything like that. Like you really got to know what you're doing.
I feel like there's a lot of campaigns too where they're asking for the same money as people who are well known and well established.
Yes. Yep.
And you may be as good as those people, probably not, but you may be, but like you really can't ask the audience to take that big of a leap if you're just starting out. And I'm just starting out, so it's like I'm not gonna ask people for $35. You know what I
Right.
mean? I made that
Right.
mistake. I think it was a mistake on the first campaign. I asked for 25, I think it was, for issue 1. And it was just like, I can understand why people aren't going to take that risk.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, that's why I offered the floppy bundle. You know, it's like, well, how about you're not going to get the premium with the glossy cover and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but it's also way more affordable. So, where basically you're paying half of the bill is the shipping because I was able to get the book so affordable, and I think it worked out well for me. So I'll probably do floppies again for the next campaign.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
15 seems to be the new rate that most people are putting out. You know?
Depending on how many pages.
Yeah.
Well, like for my
Unless
40,
you got a thick. Yeah.
ICC.
thick.
Right. A thickie.
Yeah. What is this $100 one?
so that is all of the new covers and the 2 old covers from the last campaign.
Yeah.
So that is everything that I have to offer.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Wrangler says, anybody ever see that robot chicken short where G.I. Joe tries to take on Al Qaeda? No.
I've never
No,
saw that.
I
It's awesome.
I got to YouTube that. That sounds great. Tank says, I feel that on the pricing. My wife is very unhappy with my low prices
Yeah.
at bargain rates, and they're
Mm.
still not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
Dude, all the
if you're
costs.
nobody, you can't be charging.
Right.
No, but
Prices.
like this is what sucks about being an independent creator these days is
Yes.
we are at the mercy of production costs.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
for the life of me, dude, like this pisses me off, but like I made a manga edition of my book. It's black and white for black and white, whatever. I tried to get it down to $5 because I thought that was reasonable. Like I'm trying to approach it as a customer myself. And suddenly all of these printing companies are like, surprise, motherfucker, and they just jacked the price. I'm like, so not only did I go from trying to eke by with a narrow margin to get people, interested in this $5 offering. Well, nope, can't do that because now they jacked it higher than what, like,
Yeah.
it's to the point now I'm like, that $5 turned into $10 and there's literally nothing I can do about it.
Right. So, based on the accent that you gave your printer, it sounded like you were trying to get it done in Baltimore. Is that right? Just saying, you might be getting taken for a ride. All right. So, yeah. So I don't know. Any last thoughts on the topics for today? With the Doomsday, I guess I'll say Dumbsday. It's like
Dumbsday.
it doesn't look very. I don't. I'll have to wait and see what my family says. I have to see the first trailer and all that stuff to see if it looks exciting. But to me, it seems like they're taking the multiverse idea, they're mashing it all up together with hopefully nostalgic characters and actors and all that stuff, and then they're just going to throw it at the screen, and maybe something will come out good on the other side. To me, it seems like they're trying to step their way into rebooting the MCU, and they can erase everything if they do Secret Wars. They can kill off whoever they want because none of these characters are permanent anymore. And I think Deadpool kind of showed that. It's like, well, who cares if that guy dies? If Blade dies, because he's not actually in the MCU. Really, you know what I mean. Yes, he's in the MCU, but like they're not coming out with a Wesley Snipes Blade movie. So I don't know. You can do that. You can say goodbye to old versions of characters that you've already seen, and to me, that's what it looks like. That's all they're going to do. So, do I want to see all those characters get killed on screen? Yeah, I kind of do. So I may go just for that. So, anybody's thoughts on Doom?
I would like to see, hopefully, Dr. Doom like looking through the planets he wants to combine into his battle world, see the lesbian utopia, and just go and just obliterate it. and then I would like to see Wyatt Russell behead the female Black Panther. That'd be cool.
Yes,
with the shield.
Yes.
oh, don't scare me like that, colonizer.
Sounds Irish. What do you think, dude?
Yeah. For me, I'll go see it because the Russo brothers are directing it, and they sold me on Infinity War and all that.
Yeah.
They were good, so I'm going to give it to them. I'll go see it for sure. But I'm going in a little more skeptical this time, of course.
Yeah,
I'm not jazzed about a lot of the characters that are going to be in it for sure. And I think they botched up this whole last multiverse saga. So who knows? I heard they're going to do a soft reboot after all this anyway, after Secret Wars. So
that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You know what's weird though? They don't have Deadpool in there.
Yeah.
That's like
it is weird.
A swing and a miss.
Yeah, that is a miss. That's a good point. I mean, if he is in it though, I think that his personality might take over the show,
hold on. He needs to be on his own island.
I have a theory about that.
What's that?
Because I think what they'll do is they'll bring them in, and I think they'll bring Hugh Jackman in as well, as Wolverine in Secret Wars. So they got Doomsday, and that's what they're advertising for now. But in Secret Wars, I bet we'll see different characters come in.
It'll be everybody.
Well,
yeah.
With the problem with Deadpool though is because he's so fourth wall breaking and he's so self-aware of everything. It will detract from the comedy stylings of like Robert Downey Jr. or whoever. Like he will steal the show. He will dominate the film, and he works well when it's his film. But if you put him in a group or whatever, and you expect anybody to give a shit about anybody else in the group, it's not going to happen. Yeah. He's going to pull the light back onto him.
Yep.
Oops. Tank says, I make about $10 an hour on comic book work, but make $30+ an hour for business cards, flyers, banner ads.
Yeah. Damn.
Nice. I'd love to talk more about the cards, flyers, and banners for myself. Yeah, maybe Tank, maybe you can come on and we could talk about art pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be down. Yeah. I see you two making deals right there. Okay.
The two words I'd like to hear. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, deal. What do you think, Chris? You got any last words on this Dumbsday stuff?
Not to be like what I agree with Dave Brink there. Genuine, like I checked out. I don't think they can get me back. I'm not trying to be like the hipster angsty whatever, but like. Like when I sat there and I watched Doctor Strange get berated for not knowing Spanish. Or I'm sorry, but like you planted the seeds. Like I'm done. Like I don't want to sit through demoralization propaganda where I basically watched all the straight white men are terrible. They're either evil, comic relief, or like subservient or whatever. And like all the women are like these snarky, like cookie cutter bitches. Basically, I'm like, I'm sorry,
and
I'm
badasses.
Yeah, I'm tired of the girl boss. I know that's ironic considering like the main hero of my story is a woman, but like,
Chris,
I'm tired of the snarky like let's shit on men and make women these like guys. Not only is that not even close to reality, but it's just so off-putting to people that have a triple-digit testosterone level.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. Yeah, I agree. Fuck them. There's a bunch of the last phase I didn't even see. I reluctantly watched the Eternals because it happened to be on, and there was some stuff I liked, but most like overall it was a turd.
It hurt.
The stuff that I liked about it was like more of the design of like the magic and all that stuff.
Why'd they make a defective Eternal? If these are robots, why'd they make one deaf? Like, what?
Yeah, can't you just upgrade it? Give them some new robot ears.
Yeah.
So, all right. And what about last words on networking? Anybody, any last tips you want to give to somebody who's starting out there?
Be humble, be nice.
Yeah.
And maybe that's easy to say, be nice, but like, don't go out of your way to be an asshole to people that you've never met in real life.
Yeah, right.
You know, but I think being humble is probably the top thing. There's a lot to learn. If you're just starting out, shut up and listen.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Dude, I did everything wrong on my first campaign. It was so humiliating. I get out there and like I got on Rini Draw's show and we're looking at it and she's like, you have no backers. This thing's been going for like 2 weeks and you have no backers.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Duke, you got anything? The Dukester.
Well, I don't know. I think we've said a lot. I would say I'm always looking for new inroads, and I'm going to try some different things. You know, I think the shorts are a good idea. I think that's also good to just get into different chats and meet as many new people as you can. And also on Twitter, I noticed when people try to follow me, I don't always follow them back. And I'm like, you know, that's another network I could use. Like, I don't think of, but when that happens, I should try following more people because I don't have very many.
It's not one-sided, you know?
Yeah. It's not one-sided. So
I think a lot of people forget that, you know, like, for instance, I'll have people on my show and then like when they're not on my show, I don't exist to them anymore. It's like,
but what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. It's a very, what have you done for me? Which is, it's a part of it, goes with it, you know, it's a part of it. So when somebody does interact with me, you know, on social media and stuff, or even on here, let me on their shows and stuff, dude, I will return the favor. And I will say my tip is to bring value. If you're going to be in a network, bring value to that network, even if it's, you know, hosting them on your show, like having Patrick on or something like that. So that's a part of it. You have to give value. So hopefully, you know, we've got roughly 40 people on and off watching the show. One of those hopefully will look into buying Patrick's stuff, you know, and that's the whole point. I'm trying to offer the small audience that I have, hey, look, guys, we've got you know, we got books and stuff to buy. So, or like what was it last week was tabletop props, you know, for tabletop gaming. Awesome, you know, if you like his stuff, go to his Etsy and buy it. You know, all of that. So bring value.
Least,
I'll share it. I'll retweet your stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, have the people in the audience, because a lot of these people are in other chats and they'll see Patrick around here too, is that they can at least share his campaign out, and the more they share, the more it gets out there. So it's not just about the backers, but about the full network.
Word of mouth is never to be underestimated.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, like that's how I buy video games now. I don't care about professional reviews.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's like the world is full of negative shit, and in all honesty, like I'm happy to see other people succeed, and if that means like getting, you know, like it costs you nothing to share a link, it costs you nothing to spread the good word. Maybe if you're not if you're not personally into it, that's cool. But maybe somebody you know is, and get that word out there. You know. Yes, we need more of that. Like a lot of it is just like they're like, oh well, you know, like the faction thing. Like there's so many things working against indie creators now that the least, you know, just try to put a little bit of light in that darkness. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Word of mouth. Tank says word of mouth is 98% of marketing, and I think that the, you know, just hitting a like button, just retweeting it, or even quote tweeting it, or putting, you know, something in the comments, that is a part of the word of mouth and social media. You know, you don't have to say, you don't have to be like the guy, oh, hey, everybody, look out here. This is a great product, even though you never bought it. Maybe you just want to help that dude, and retweeting is that word of mouth, because then, like you guys are saying, the 1,500 people that follow you on Twitter, maybe 5% of those guys are going to see that ad run through their timeline. And that's important. Tank says, by that, I mean that 98% of sales come from word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Tank. All right, so I guess on that, since once again I nailed it and I'm right, we're gonna go ahead. And end the show on that one. So I guess, and if you want to hang out, Patrick, we hang out for a minute and say goodbye. You know, hug each other or whatever. So until next time, where is it? There we go. Until next time, enough talk.
Enough talk.